Okay, well, it's not Sunday, like I said. Si's still on holiday, so I've had a chance to have another game. This one's a 2,400 point game. Here's Warriors of Chaos versus my Dark Elves. This one's actually Dawn Attack, believe it or not. We're actually playing a different mission. Thought we'd mix it up a bit. Unfortunately, it has screwed me royally, but yeah. So I'm running through my army. We've already determined who's going first. Side deployed first, side deployed second, and I failed to seize the initiative, or whatever the equivalent is. So side will be going first. But right, so I've got it's after Vanguards as well, obviously. I've got 5 Warlocks, 30 Executioners, full command, a Master on a Manticore, 30 Witch Elves with a Cauldron of Blood and Death Hag BSB. Got 5 Dark Riders, 20 Corsairs with my level 4 of Dark Magic, a Repeat Bolt Thrower, 5 Dark Riders, and another Bolt Thrower. And that's it. So, hand over to Sai. Oh, actually, for spells I got, I don't remember. I'll tell you in a minute.
Hey, this Warriors of Chaos army is an expanded version of my 1500 point force that you've seen in some of the earlier battle reports. Basically to allow me to field a bigger force using the few models that I've got. Although once I'm done with this particular theme, I'll probably move on to another Warriors team. But yeah, in this instance it's still very, very Cornate based. So I have a unit of
5 Bolt Throwers.
Yes, 5 high off bolt thrower proxies, otherwise known as Ellerillion Reavers, otherwise proxying again for Marauder Horsemen this time. So
don't they get around, do they?
yeah, they've represented quite a few models in various games, but yeah, they're actually for once representing fast cav. So yeah, I need to get hold of some Marauder Horsemen, but that will be a bit later on when I have some cash. So yeah, we've got 5 Marauder Horsemen. I have 5 Cornate Knights with ensorcelled weapons. I have a Cornate Chariot. I have 5 Dogs. Then I have 18 Chaos Warriors, Mark Khorne and Halberds. I have 4 Skull Crushers with a full command and my BSB on there. He is the Exalted Hero that we've seen from previous editions, who, you know, can hopefully carve his way through his army. Then I have another 5 Dogs, and I have 18 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, Mark Khorne, and the space that you can see there is for the Sorcerer, who I purchased today from Games Workshop, but because I forgot to check the opening times, I didn't realise that I had to wait quite a while, so he's not assembled yet. But yeah, give it a couple of turns, and if he's still alive, then I'm sure he'll be on the board. And here is a War Shrine. I actually own the model. It's even the base out of the War Shrine box. But yeah, like I haven't had a chance to assemble it. Today I'm rocking Law of Shadow. The spells I got were Pit of Shades, Enfeebling Foe, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, and the Penumbral Pendulum. The Penumbral Pendulum is great because it now means that I have a Chaos army with a shooting attack.
Doesn't it require you to make initiative tests?
It does, but it's a shooting attack in a Chaos army. So, you know, it's not all bad. Well, it's quite bad. Unfortunately, yeah, it was either that or I keep Steed of Shadows.
Oh, right.
And yeah, I'd rather not have that. So yeah, with that, like Ollie said, I get the first turn. So we've made all our Vanguard moves. So we will see you at the end of Warriors of Chaos turn 1. Okay, it's the end of Warriors of Chaos turn 1. Everyone moved up. So my Marauder Horseman moved up there to try and threaten his bolt thrower a bit. The Knights and the Dogs advanced, as did the Chariot. My Warriors advanced up, as did the Skull Crushers and the other Dogs. And as you can see, yeah, pretty much everyone has scarpered up. Then we've got the Magic phase. So I rolled 7 dice. 4 for Ollie, and I've got a channel. I cast a Buried Up Melkoths on his Lord with on the Manticore, which he let through. I then rolled abysmally with the other 5 dice to cast Pit of Shades on him, which would have been pretty sweet, because he would currently only be, I think he's initiative 4, and the Manticore is initiative 2. So, well, it would have been tested on the Manticore, the Lord's initiative anyway, but, you know, I'll take initiative 4, as that's a 1 in 3 chance of him failing rather than a 1 in 6. So, yeah, it would have been handy. Sorry, that was a random cat. Yeah, so that was about it. No casualties on my side, which is always good, as I'm playing Warriors of Chaos and not Skaven. Yeah, unfortunately, no casualties on Ollie's side, because I haven't got to him yet. So, yeah, it's now time for Dark Elf turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Dark Elves turn 1. And so I move the Manticore, the Warlocks up, the Executioners. These guys move around the building. Because I have the BSB there, I gave her the Banner of Swiftness, as I couldn't actually give her any other equipment. Bit crazy having her as the Death Hag, but it made sense with this list, because obviously a lot of my allowance is used up by the Manticore, so just slapping 25 points on her for a BSB seemed worth it. So the Dark Riders moved up to redirect the Skull Crushers. These guys stay where they were, sort of moved back a bit. These guys moved up to just block things off, and that's it. And then the magic phase I rolled 9, and I fired a Doom Bolt at the Skull Crushers, which Sai dispelled. I then attempted to Word of Pain on them, which Sai, he scrolled the Doom Bolt and he dispelled the Word of Pain. And then he dispelled the other Doom Bolt as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get anything off, did I?
Nope.
Damn. Yeah, so that's a shame. But I did take his scroll out, so it wasn't so bad. I did sacrifice 3 guys in an attempt to get the spell off with a bit more power, and failed all of them, so so I decided to stop there so I wouldn't panic. Yeah, so that was it. Then in the shooting phase, this bolt thrower killed 4 of the fast cav. These Dark Riders, actually those Dark Riders didn't shoot.
No, it didn't.
No, okay. So I'm going to shoot those Dark Riders.
Resolve that in a sec.
Yeah, I'll do that in a sec. Those Dark Riders fired at the dogs. Only 2 of them could see the dogs, but they shot 2 off, which was nice. Unfortunately, failed his panic test. Unfortunately, he passed his panic test. This one passed his panic test as well. And that was it for shooting. So other than these Dark Riders, which I'll do those now and let you know the end of Sai's turn.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors of Chaos, turn 2. Couple of charges this turn. The Knights declared a charge on the Dark Riders. They're a little bit autistic this turn, in that they had to take a frenzy check. Then they re-rolled it because they failed it, so they were going to charge. Then they passed it because they had the Gleaming Pennant, and then they were going to charge anyway. So yeah, all this indecision. But yeah, they charged, and Ollie elected to flee. So we ended up with a failed charge. They moved forward a little bit, and then I managed to get Ollie then rolled quite high. I got an 11, and they nearly fled off the board. Although I dare say they'll be back. Then the Skull Crushers. Well, they pretty much had to charge the Dark Riders. Ollie was going to hold, and then basically they chopped them up. The Exalted Hero cut them all up without even anyone else getting to go, and then overrun and tonked straight into the side of the building. Basically, the way we're playing it is those steps aren't really kind of counting as they jut out quite far. It's just the circular base, so they are actually an inch away from the building. Then the Chaos Warriors that were over here charged in against all these Executioners. In the magic phase, I got off a Buried Up Melkoths and an Enfeebling Foe, lowering their strength by 3 and lowering their initiative and weapon skill by 1. So it was just enough for me to go first, and I killed 16 in total. And then unfortunately for Ollie, he failed to wound any in return. He then broke, and I caught him, and unfortunately I only fled 4 inches. Overran and pursued for the sort of full 4. Otherwise I would have been. Otherwise I'm kind of a bit screwed now. So yeah. With that, otherwise I would have nicely been out of his charge arc. But I'm going to take it up the rear now from a manticore. So yeah, quite nice and successful over there. Although I think they're going to eat some revenge in a minute. And then over here doesn't look too good either. So yeah, it's now time for Dark Elf turn 2.
Okay, so it's Dark Elves turn 2, and I've got some revenge. But first up, I moved attempted to charge the Manticore into the dogs, who elected to flee. So I redirected into the Skull Crushers, but failed it. Needing a 20, and I got a 19 in total, so that's a shame. The Witch Elves charged into the Skull Crushers, and that was it for charges. I rallied the Dark Riders, they moved up here. They stayed where they were. The Warlocks moved over there, and that was pretty much it. Then in the magic phase, it was pretty nice. I rolled 9 dice, so I got a channel though. So I had 6 dice to my 9. I managed 6 dice a Word of Pain on the Skull Crushers, which I failed to dispel, which reduced their strength, initiative, and all the other relevant things by 2, which was massive. I then cast the Power of Darkness with 2 more dice onto the Witch Elves, which I got off. So they were at +1 strength. Got dice back from that, and then used the other 2 dice to cast a Doom Bolt on the Chaos Warriors. Managed to kill 5 of them, which was brilliant. And then in the shooting phase, the Dark Riders fired at the Knights, did nothing. This bolt thrower fired at the Chaos Warriors, hit them but failed to wound. This one drilled the last Marauder Horseman. And then in close combat, he made way with his Exalted Hero and his champion. He issued a challenge with his Exalted Hero, which I accept with my champion. So we did that first. He killed me, but only did 1 wound to me. Obviously, because he's lower strength. I did nothing to him. Then my the impact hits did a wound to one of the other guys. And then my Death Hag cut up his champion, pretty much by herself, as these guys actually have the Razor standard. So they were she was strength 5 with armor piercing, and got 4 hits on him. Yeah, so they broke and fled, run through the Corn Warriors, and are booking it. Although they are still able to rally. Well, no, was there 4 in the unit, or was there just 3? There was 5, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, there was 4 Skull Crushers. And
they can still rally though anyway, though, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, because there was only 4 in the unit. You don't include the Exalted Hero, do you?
No. So they're still about 50%.
Oh yeah, of course so. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Just wishful thinking. But yeah, so felt good to get some revenge for all those poor beastmen that died trying to kill those guys last time. But yeah, the epic magic phase and just precision strike, I think. But yeah, so still plenty of stuff on the board as we move into Warriors of Chaos turn 3 or 4. 3.
Yeah, turn 3.
Yeah, turn 3.
It's the end of Warriors of Chaos turn 3. Some more charges. The Knights charged at the Dark Riders, who elected to flee. The Cowardly Elves, however, failed to roll high enough, and I chased him down and chopped him up. But the best bit was that I rolled exactly enough to still be within a reasonable charge arc of the unit over there. Should they not move? Then I moved. I tried to charge the Chaos Warriors at the Witch Elves to try and chop a few down. However, I didn't manage to do that. They only moved forward 3. My Skull Crushers did, however, come back. The dogs moved around to redirect the Witch Elves. Then the Chaos Warriors tried to march around the building, although they're slow and implacable advance, meant that nothing was pretty much in range of my spells, so I didn't bother with the magic phase. The War Shrine, however, charged out of the forest into the the Golden Maw, and charged out into the Master on the Manticore. He did 2 wounds with impact hits onto the Manticore, which was enough to send it packing, and I failed to catch him as he rolled a double 6, so he's flee distance. I did, however, manage to charge straight into the Warlocks over in the sort of that was behind them, so that does at least pin them in place and stop them from getting in the way of my Chaos Warriors over there. So yeah, a fairly good turn. Although unfortunately, I think I'm going to be eating some flank shot bolt thrower over there. But yeah, I'll just have to suck that up. And yeah, with that, it's now time for Dark Elves turn 3.
Okay, so it's the end of Dark Elves turn 3. It's not looking so good. There's only 1 unit left, really. These guys don't really count. So I moved these guys back a bit. I moved those guys forward a bit after bailing the Sorceress out. The Master rallied, which was nice of him. That was pretty much it. So I went to the magic phase, got 11 dice, so a pretty decent magic phase. I did a Doom Bolt at the Knights, killed 3 of them. I did a Power of Darkness on these guys, but he dispelled it. I did a Word of Pain on this, which got off and lowered its strength, initiative, and etc. by 3. So it's pretty much screwed now. And that was pretty much it for magic. Then the shooting phase, this bolt thrower missed, and this one killed 1 knight, so there's still 1 left. And then in close combat, he murdered my Warlocks with his War Shrine, his 125 point War Shrine, and then overrun into the Manticore again, so I'm screwed. It's pretty brutal. So I'm not sure what's going on with that Manticore, but he's failing me again in this, you know, it's just terrible. But he's quite cheap, but that War Shrine's about half the points of him. And it's already mopped up 125 points with the Warlocks, so a bit gutted. But anyway, so we're heading to Warriors Chaos turn 4.
It's the end of Warriors Chaos turn 4. No charges this turn, just jostling for position. Unfortunately, I would love to have charged his bolt thrower, but I was out of the arc by several degrees, unfortunately. So he just moved around to generally threaten should Ollie be unlucky enough to roll 2 1s or 2 2s, and not skewer him. Then these guys just moved up a bit to make the charge a little bit easier. Then the Skull Crushers, I can't remember what they're called now, moved up and around as well. And then the Chaos Knights, the Chaos Warriors around the corner, also moved up and around. Then the magic, this moved back as well to put them out of an easy charge. Then let's see what happened. Yes, then in the magic phase, I managed to cast a large Melkoths, reducing everything by 3, which was great. So hopefully that kind of pins them reasonably into place. Then I cast Pit of Shades. It only scattered 1. I managed to kill 3 Witch Elves. However, Ollie passed his initiative test for the Death Hag. So she was okay. And then over here, in the only close combat, in the cascading combat, Basically, got into there and did another wound, but took one in return. However, I had the charge, so he passed his leadership test and held on. So yeah, that's kind of dragging over there, keeping me in pinned in place.
Up by a horse ride.
And I marked horse ride at that. So yeah, that's it, and it's now time for Chaos. Dark Elves, turn 4.
Okay, so it's the end of Dark Elves turn 4?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, there wasn't any movement to do. So, well, I just turned her around to face this unit. I had my magic phase, so I got channel. I can't remember how many dice it was.
I think it was 8.
8, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because you 6 diced.
Yeah, that's right. And so I threw 6 dice at a big doom bolt at these guys. Managed to get it off and killed 7 of them. And the raw attribute killed another 1, which was nice. Ideally, I would have liked to kill the entire unit, but that wasn't going to happen. Then I used 2 more dice to cast Power of Darkness on these guys. Got a dice back and tried to use it to cast Word of Pain, but it didn't go off. Then in the shooting phase, this bolt thrower finally killed that last knight. This one drilled a couple of dogs and they fled, which is beneficial for both of us. And then that was it. And then in that close combat, he finally killed the Manticore, but I did 2 more wounds to him, even though I won the combat, but he held. Yeah, so I've just got the Master left now. And that was it. So it's the end of Dark Elves turn 4. And as I'm about to get charged in the front by those Chaos Warriors, those Skull Crushers, and in the rear by those Skull Warriors, probably with some debuffs in the mix as well. It's not looking good. So we shall head over to size turn 5. Sorry.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors Chaos, turn 5. And yeah, it was a pretty brutal showdown. In that, yeah, let's see, the 3 units that were here, the 2 units of Warriors and the 2 Skull Crushers charged at his Witch Elves. And then the Lone Chariot charged at the Corsairs as well. The Corsairs got chopped up, although they did manage to do a wound to the Chariot in return. So I was able to gank fucking loads of them, although they are unfortunately still steadfast. And then, yeah, over here in the big combat, which was where it was all at, basically the Witch Elves made a pretty impressive showing of themselves. The Crone killed the... oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, the Crone killed the Skull Crusher, chopped him up. Then the Witch Elves killed, was it 11 guys? Yeah, and then I turned back and killed 15 and just chopped them up to buggery. Oh yeah, and the Crone, and yeah, just sort of finished, got them nicely reduced down. So yeah, the Witch Elves lose their frenzy, which is nice. And yeah, so it's now time for Dark Elves turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Dark Elves turn 5, and the impossible has happened. So we had a big old grind in the middle. Well, other superficial things happened. The Corsairs managed to kill the Chariot. Only had 1 wound left, so had quite a few of attacks against it. Did manage it, and he snuck 1 wound through. That was all that was required. The bolt thrower did nothing. This one didn't do anything. Well, that one did fire at the dogs but missed. And then in the magic phase, I threw 6 dice at Power of Darkness to get +1 strength, just to counteract his enfeeblement. And then I used the remaining 2 dice to cast Word of Pain on those warriors behind me. Yeah, and that was it. And then in close combat, we did the big grind session. Obviously, I went first. and I killed a hell of a lot of his guys. In fact, that's the guys he has left. 2 warriors there, Skull Crusher there, his general. It would have been 2 warriors there, but when he broke, the banner died. He killed a hell of a lot of Witch Elves, but I've still got a few left. And like I said, that unit broke, and there's still a turn to go, and he's rolling Snake Eyes. That's going to run off the board. And at this point, he's thrown in the towel, which is fair enough. But yeah, it was just an epic grind that eventually went in my favour. So, what can you do? Although it was, I mean, I can't speak for side, but for me that was just epic. That's what a game should be. It's just where everyone gets killed, and there's a big old fight in the middle to decide who wins. And that was it. And unfortunately for side, it was me. I totally thought you had it, to be honest. A couple of turns ago, but now like Reels to hit and wound are pretty damn good. So, and Chaos Warriors, I don't know. Well, obviously it was beneficial because it was in my turn and he only had his enfeeblement on me. So, but yeah, it was very satisfying to see my Witch Elves kick some ass rather than being shot to death by high elf bowmen. But yeah, I'm happy that I could kill that many Chaos Warriors. It made me feel good. They killed a lot more of mine, but to be fair, I mean, it was the Steadfast that kept me in that fight, nothing more. But yeah, so love that Cauldron. It's awesome. The Witch Elves are awesome. And like I said, although he pushed his entire army into me, that unit is my entire army, really. You know, the executioners are pretty, well, rubbish against Chaos Warriors, really, especially when they get debuffed. And everything else is chaff, as far as I'm concerned. So I think that unit is pretty much the stars for me when I get charged from by most of his army and come out on top. Can't complain. And honourable mention actually goes to my wizard, believe it or not. Dark Magic's really done pretty well. I was complaining about it for the first couple of turns. Obviously I didn't take a scroll, which is really stupid. Just kind of bored of taking scrolls, but it just reminds you every time you take one how much you need one. Because that miasma on those executioners just ruined them. They didn't even get a chance to. Well, they killed I don't think they killed anyone, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, and he butchered 30 of them without. Didn't even slow down his stride. Just went straight over them. And then he came around this corner and met some naked chicks, and they kicked his ass. So go figure. But yeah, it's still a very enjoyable game. I was a bit stressy, so I was definitely a bit stressy right now. But, it's just the path of the course of this game. Fun though. I don't know. Well, I think we're both figuring out the army still, so there's definitely going to be some growing pains. But yeah. I don't really have a lot more to say. No, I can't think of anything. I'm not so keen on the list. There's some things I don't like about it. I don't like having a bunker for wizards. Although I felt I have to in this one. It's because I didn't take Law of Life. I decided I want a bunker for the Dark Mage, so I could stay on the front line, flee if I had to. The Manticore Rider. I really like the Manticore, and I wanted to use it because the Warriors of Chaos is pretty useless, and it's quite cheap on him. He's about 260 points for just a Barry Basic Master on the Manticore with a few bells and whistles. But that Warthrone was kicking his ass and chased him across the board, which is like half its points, and it killed a unit of Warlocks on the way.
It's not even half its points. It's nearly a third of his points. How much was the man?
No, he's only 260.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I did kill it in the end, but it just annoyed me. Yeah, so I'm not sure about him. I like his cheap points cost. My initial idea was just charge him in and assassinate Size General with him, because obviously the Manticore's got Killing Blow. But, well, I was never going to make that initial charge, and then things just got out of control. So I lost that entire flank to not a lot, really. I didn't put up any resistance, really. Although I'm victorious on that side. This side went pretty well. Finally took out those Knights of the Bolt Throwers. And the middle was always secure with those Witch Elves, apparently. So, but like I said, the magic support really helped in this game. So, quite impressed with Dark Magic, even though I wasn't that keen on it at the start of the game. But yeah, so I'll hand you over to Si now and let him have a little lament. Or a bigger lament, actually.
A little bit disappointed at the end there, but yeah, it was a really good game. I always figured that it'd be a very close matchup, Warriors versus Dark Elves. I think
it couldn't get much closer than that.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of it is a very good
Combat
matchup.
literally decided the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit harsh, but yeah, like I say, that's the issue with Steadfast, unfortunately. Ollie rolled very, very well towards the end, but then again, I rolled amazingly over there to just absolutely eviscerate his execution, and so it all kind of balances out in the end. It was just a shame that I had to go down to that because with two Chaos Warriors and a guy flanked with all of the Corsairs and stuff, that just wasn't happening, which is a real shame because if that unit, if the Sorcerer hadn't have broken, then I might have had a chance to like nerf the Witch Elf unit down to the wire, but yeah, unfortunately it wasn't to be. I think where I went wrong was really well. Actually, I don't know. I don't think I went particularly wrong.
No, I don't. You didn't really do anything wrong.
No, I think it just
outgrinded.
Yeah, just boiled down to the fact that he had twice as many guys as I did, there's not really much I can do about that. My damage output is mightily impressive, and I made a ton of armour saves when really I shouldn't. That first round of combat, Ollie got a hell of a lot of wounds, but I also made a hell of a lot of saves, which sort of saved my arse there. But yeah, I just couldn't draw enough of a bead on the Witch Elves to put them down. But then again, that's sort of what happened. I think maybe if Ollie hadn't got that Doom Bolt off, I probably would have had it. So that's just the way it is. But it was a really good game. So there is no game with us this weekend as Ollie is off to Giant Hammer at Warhammer World to join Owen and the rest of the lads. So good luck to him with his Beastmen. I think he might need it with those Beastmen.
That's not going to go well.
But it does at least mean he'll get invited back because after the
I got thrown with a ban.
Yeah, which is fair enough because you take a blend of Vampire Lord to
so now I'm taking a dive
to a friendly tournament. It's bad times, but it should be good. So good luck to Ollie in his adventures, and there will be battle reports coming out from that. I would hope.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you. It will be next week, I should imagine. Oh no, it won't because I'm going to a wedding. The week after for another game.